Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a StarCraft cast. That's right, it's StarCraft. I'm casting it. My name is JaKaTaK, and spawning in the bottom area of the map is Maxing, who will be maxing, hopefully, this game with the many maxes. And in the top section, we've got Ganis, who I believe we just casted? Ganis. The true Ganis, the one Ganis. How do we know which Ganis this Ganis is? We'll never know. Ever. It's impossible. But in any case, we have a ZVT happening over here. And first Overlord is out. That means no crazy shenanigans from our Zergy player. And in the bottom section, we've got the normally timed supply depot. And we're looking at, is the gas going to come out first? Is the barracks going to come out first? Those are the major divergences in the beginning of the game. We do have a gas first. Now, out of a gas first, we get a lot of different options we can do. It could just be, a lot of times it'll be a factory with a gas first. A lot of times you'll see the factory follow up. We'll see exactly how that works out. And in the top section, we'll see here, droning up pretty hard. And still no spawning pool. So as far as options are concerned, we could have, right around 15 is when things start to happen. Don't mind me. And we do have an expansion build from Ganis. So nothing too crazy just yet. Barracks is going to come down here. Nice little bit of harass, though, from the drone. Whenever you can get this, just that little bit of delay there on the barracks is super nice. Oh, nothing. Oh, wow, nice. Nicely done, Ganis, getting every little bit of efficiency out of that one drone, even coming back. Oh, God, I love this. Fantastic. Oh, is he going to kill it? Oh! 5 hit point SCV is going to finish the barracks. All is lost. But that's what happens. Small overextension there. And we're looking at the gas count. It's pretty high. A lot of times you'll do things like line up for the factory, but this is lining up for like a factory and perhaps a reactor is possible here. That extra gas is either inefficient, all right, so the gas was gotten too early, or it's just being saved for another time. Could be a starport going on over there. Could be a starport coming out, but this gas has to be spent, which is the main thing here. And speaking of spending money, Ganis is still floating quite a bit, and then dropping it down there with the double queen. Nice. Just a little bit of moving around there, hiding away here. Nice. As a Terran player, whenever you can get out there early on with a Marine and go Overlord hunting, a lot of times players will do it with 2 Marines. We do see that starport coming up here. And that gas is getting in more manageable location now that we have more structures that can produce gas heavy units. And this is kind of one of the things about Terran is that, look, Terran's been on one gas this whole time. They've managed to get all this tech up. They are kind of a gas light race to begin with. So one of the mistakes a lot of players early on will make is that they'll say, oh, there are 2 gases per base. I'm a Terran player. I'm just going to go ahead and get both gases. A lot of the time as a Terran player, you stay on this one gas for a long time, and it does pretty much everything you need it to do. So we got the medevac coming out here, and ooh, nice hit, nice hit. Ganis was spread out there, so I only lost 2. Love Widowmine hits, one of my favorite things. And we'll have to see exactly. This is one of the other cool things, right? Because as going for this 1-1-1 move here means we could see bio or we could see mech. So either way is an option here. And here we are. Widowmine drop coming in. Only 4 Marines in the front. A lot of times this 2-pronged attack works well because the force in the front is enough to distract, or the force in the back is enough to distract, so they can both do some damage. But I don't think this is a particularly strong force, so we're going to have to see. For defense, 2 queens at the ramp. No run-bys happening here. In the back, we have no detection at all. Let's take a look. Ooh, no layer either. The only detection available will be spore crawlers, and none are on the way right now. These widow mines are going to be very difficult to deal with. Here we go. We have the Widow Mines coming. We have an attack coming on this side as well. Widow Mines dropped, and ooh, nice little move there. Trying to get the most value out of this Widow Mine. Maybe over-microing it just a bit. Just a tiny bit. There's that Spore Crawler, right? So that's that Spore Crawler, 30 seconds. And we are going to get one more hit out of this Widow Mine. No Spore Crawler over here, though, so we can wait. And even if Spore Crawler was started right now, this Widow Mine will get some value. And the whole time, damage was being dealt to this hatchery. Forced to cancel. Couple lings dead. But that's going to be things cleaned up for... Oh, man. Okay, we got 3 queens. Excellently defended. Going to have to run back here. And, I mean, he's just getting every little bit of damage he can. 7 kills in this Widow Mine. This Widow Mine over here dies with only 3. So nice micro damage mitigation there. And, wow, just a lot of workers getting killed here. Let's take a look at the workers killed count. Or rather, the workers count is about even. Speed finishing up. And these queens finally finish up cleaning up everything. And, oh, this Widow Mine, only 5 seconds left. But it gets taken out just before it's able to fire again. A lot of workers killed before. A lot of workers killed off. And we have a big droning happening. And, ooh, here we are. Talked about this a little bit before. We can go into mech from here or into bio, and it looks like mech. Unless this is some strange 3 factory plus bio play, it's probably what we call mech. And it's particularly interesting world right now, the world of mech versus Zerg in the current form of Heart of the Swarm. After the Swarm host got changed, things got, shuffled up a bit, and a lot of people will say that Zerg got the short end of the stick, and it's very difficult to deal with things, but, we'll just have to see how Ganis particularly is going to deal with it, especially because this is not a professional game, right? And until you get to that level, and even when you're at that level, your execution, your mechanical skill and basic decision-making will generally dictate whether or not you win the game, and not the current state of balance, contrary to popular belief. The balance will obviously affect you as it affects everyone, but the lower in league you are, the less balance of the game affects you, and the more you will be just reliant on your basic skills carrying you in the game. So we do have the single Viking. Love this play, single Viking. That's used to clear up overlords, and that serves 2 purposes. One, it kills overlords, so, they have to build more overlords. It's damage, right? Pretty straightforward stuff. And second of all, it puts the Zerg in the dark. Nice creep spread, though. Look at this. That is look how evenly spaced that is. It's like, this is like an art. This is an artist, man. This is an artist's creep spread right here. That's beautiful. Will it help, though? Also nice, we have the creep spread in between the bases. That's a really big deal when defending against drops and air harass. That may or may not be over. That phase of the game may or may not be over. Maxing does have the option to continue with drops, go into that some more. But the later we get into the game, the more likely Ganis will have things to deal with the drops. So it is a little bit more risky. Nice little move over here. 4 Hellions. 4 Hellions is exactly what you need to kill 1 drone, and they do flat splash damage, which means it's not in zone. So any lining up he does here are going to get kills. Nicely done there. Oh, a couple of kills as well. Looking good. He's going to move back here and pulls back. Well done overall. And he's just going to get out of here. Nicely done. This creep bow, really, really useful. It's making this medevac move all the way around if it wants to do a little drop over here. And it's got some kind of... It's just going to go here for now. Let's take a look. Back at home, while this harass is going on, maxing is, maxing, right? He's got quite a few siege tanks and going for Widow Mines as well. Interesting moves here. The siege tanks will, function very well against the roaches. Widow Mines, not quite as much, but, they're always going to be helpful, and these Hellbats are going to form this nice front line to protect the tanks while they shell out their long-range damage. The Zerg here in this particular matchup is just going for some Roach Hydra. So this is This is kind of this is as close Zerg gets to a death ball, right? It's Roach Hydra, maybe you throw Corruptors in, maybe you throw Vipers in there, but it's this blunt object that you smash your opponent with into pieces. But it also has this ability to sort of, you know, be a Swiss Army knife in that you can start doing harass, splitting off groups, going here and there. But as far as this is concerned, this is just a bunch of dead roaches if they don't back off very quickly. And they will lose some of their brethren. They get a Hellbat for their troubles. But really strong defensive position over here. This is what, you know, siege tanks are good at, is engaging when they're siege. You have to watch out for that. One of the strongest thing, one of the very basic, most strong things you can do against a player with a heavy tank count is catching them unsieged, which is why they're so strong defensively, because they're already sieged. The weakness comes when they're moving out, and that is sort of the tricky part about playing this style for maxing, is that moving out too early can lose you the game. You have to be very careful about when exactly you move out. Ganis being really proactive in the front here. He sees the attack. He sees this move out coming. He gets the general gist of what is coming at him. Burrow on the way, as well as grooved spines. And we do have a really nice creep spread to engage on, which is going to be helpful. That's going to get started, get cleaned up here. But the problem is we have a supply blocked Zerg while a Terran attack is incoming. Absolute worst time to get supply blocked, because you need to be building stuff right away. Oh, nice target. Almost gets a tank. Almost gets a tank. Forces a siege up. Forces a siege up. Now he's going to wait until that unsiege happens. Nice focus fire down. He's being very, very careful here. And this is one of the other things you can do as a Terran player. It's called leapfrogging. And by only unsieging a few at a time, you make yourself a little bit less vulnerable. Nice defense of the flank over here. Ganis trying to find an angle and get in. In the meantime, though, he's kind of on a timer, sacrificing this base. The damage from this push has already begun to come in. And we're going to have to see over here. Yeah, we do have, from both angles, units coming in, units from the bottom, units from the top. The flank very strong against the siege tanks. Some of the siege tanks are going down here. Oh, this one in the back is almost dead. So many almost dead siege tanks, and a couple of dead ones as well. But no major reinforcements for maxing here. Probably spending a lot of his attention on the engagement itself, which is a choice, right? Ooh, nice little move-ins here from the Roach groups, taking out a couple of tanks. That is the core of this group. If the tanks are gone, it becomes very, very difficult for the Terran to engage. Thor is very good against Roaches, as you can see there. Let's take a look at the upgrades really quick. We have 1-1 against just one attack, and 2-2 already coming in. One of the advantages that Terran often has against Zerg is that it's easier for Terran to get up from 2-2 to 3-3. Just the way the tech tree works out is it makes it a lot easier. So the fact that the Zerg is ahead in upgrades here I think is a little bit of a misstep for maxing here, not paying enough attention to their upgrades. And that could cause some problems, especially because, like we were talking about before, if you move out too early with mech, you can lose the game. And while maxing didn't lose that game right there, definitely took a lot of losses, a lot of heavy gas losses there. And that was due in major part to the patience of Ganis waiting to engage until they could find a good angle. Going to run out here. A little bit of one control group syndrome. Gets an Overseer killed. Oh, engaging. Oh, such a good move here. Only loses a Roach. Gets to peel off some of this bulk Hellbat. And he's in the base. Such a great use of positioning and mobility to deal with these siege tanks. They fired like 3 shots during this entire battle. And now they're all alone. They don't do so well and they're all alone. This reinforcement really key to finishing off this battle and keeping them in siege tank mode. Keep in mind, they can still deal damage in siege tank mode. They actually deal more DPS to single target armored units, while in siege tank mode, instead of like the siege mode itself, it was tank mode instead of siege mode is how it is, but you know, mobile mode. They can fire in that way. And continuing to rally in, nice rally position. And what is the Zerg response here? We are seeing chitinous plating coming up, so Ultralisks. Nice meat shield up in front, and Vipers as well. The Viper is going to be really critical in this next engagement. There's not a lot of meat on the ground for the Zerg, which is a little bit troubling. But as long as the Blinding Clouds and or Abducts line up correctly, this could be a really good engagement for Ganis. Blinding Cloud stops, it basically turns all units underneath the cloud into melee units, is how it works. Really light. I love this. I love this. Oh, catching him completely on siege, and the Blinding Clouds. Everything is completely clumped. Oh my god, the Terran is taking massive losses here. This attack, so huge. And the Roaches there, getting a taste of their own medicine with that Blinding Cloud. But again, Blinding Cloud taking out another siege tank. And I think all the Vipers died there. How many Vipers do we have left? None. Yes, all the Vipers did get killed off. But it was basically at the cost of Maxing's entire army. He's got this area to fall back onto here. Maxing does. But the problem is long term, and long term is, I mean, we're already at 21 minutes here. Long term is pretty much here. The problem is the economy. This base is mining out. This base is mining out. This base is, maybe eventually beginning to mine out. But we got 5 bases getting set up here for our Zerg players, so they can keep trading and maxing and remaxing, but Maxing cannot keep maxing and remaxing, which is unfortunate. I'm sure he'd like to be doing that. Nice high ground siege tank here. Ganis looking for a harassment angle, and he's gonna go ahead and move up this ramp. Ooh, just missed that. You see that? Just missed the raised depot. But at this point, is Ganis kind of throwing away the supply? All right, that may be intentional. Might not want to stand a Roach composition as we're moving into the late game. But it's really about getting value out of these Roaches while they're still alive and doing some harassment, but not all that much. Burrow is available, but there's lots of missile turrets here, so not too much aid will be done. A lot of times this comes through with a 2-pronged attack, but that was just a straight-up harassment. And generally speaking, those harassment moves are not going to work very well while your opponent has his army at home. You want them to be out in the middle of the map, or you want to distract them with some kind of engagement. That being said, we have made some room for Ultralisk to come out. 151 supply. I guess Ultralisk would be a little bit more specific. And we are going to be running into problems here, right? Because we're going into Corruptor Ultralisk, which we have chitinous plating for. All of the other Zerg investments have been for ranged units, and now we're building air units and melee units. So the Carapace comes through, which is a nice part about the Zerg. The Carapace works for all of your ground units, not just the ranged or not just the melee, which is quite nice. And Maxing has indeed secured this base. Whoa, don't know what's going on here. I can understand maybe this base and maybe this base, but this is just going to die, right? This is you've gone too far, Ganis. You've gone too far. 4 Ultras on the way. And when they pop out, that'll be the maxed out Ganis ready to make, I believe, a full frontal assault. We also have some harassment options, like before. But we have a little bit of harass over here coming to this area. And the siege tanks, again, getting caught on siege. This is a huge deal. And even the blinding clouds to throw on top of it. These Vikings clearing out all the air units. But the problem is, once the air units are gone, this Roach Hydra is pummeling through, just smashing the Terran player in the face directly. Roaches going off to counterattack immediately while the Hydras stay home to try and clean up these Vikings. Planetary fortresses for defense are quite good, but guess what? Oh man, that burst damage coming through. These Roaches are demolishing this area, and there aren't many units left. We have a couple of siege tanks here, but they're not sieged, which is hurting them because all these clumped up units can take damage, and all the rest of the army is here smashing through. This is the critical moment in time here. Everything is falling for the Terran directly on top of the production facilities, which is absolutely critical for the Terran player. Once you lose those production facilities, once you have those units incrementing out directly on top of enemy units, they will be eliminated immediately. We have upgrades on the way, but it's absolutely going to be too late as they, death is raining down upon the Terran in all directions, in all manners. There are some harassments here in the form of the Vikings and the Hellions But it is difficult to say if that's going to be enough. I'm not going to lie. That's not going to be enough. It's absolutely not going to be enough. I tried to make this cast without making too many predictions, but let's be honest here. When it's 189 supply to 47, you're basically just waiting for your opponent to leave the game or be really rude and start lifting off your buildings and running them into corners. That is pretty much all there is to it. And oh my god, no GG. Maxing. Unhappy about that game, just gets the heck out of there. Excellent play from both players. As always, my name is JaKaTaK. Thank you for tuning in, hang out, etc. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or anything beginning with the letter C, please leave it in the questions, comments section below. And I'll see you again soon.